Vacation hotel or all-inclusive resort?
All-inclusive resort.
Favorite airline?
Delta.
Oh, JetBlue. Yeah, JetBlue. Terminal C at Boston. Makes my life easy.
Oh, there's no good answer to that. I'm going to hold that one.
Tequila or whiskey?
Tequila.
Water.
Margarita.
Need a beer.
Good answer. Musical band, group, or solo artist that you like the best?
Foo Fighters is definitely a top one for sure.
Beatles.
Nice.
Garth Brooks.
Steve Miller Band.
Nice. Gotta love the jam band.
Grateful Dead.
Nice. I love that.
So I should say Emmylou Harris because that's who I'm named after, but I'm actually going to go with Dolly Parton.
Prince.
U2.
Favorite hotel or resort?
Ritz-Carlton.
Favorite movie?
It used to be Airplane. Then I saw it again and realized that most of the humor is no longer relevant or allowed.
Recently, Maverick. I was a huge Top Gun fan, so Maverick. We go Maverick.
Inglourious Basterds.
Captain Ron.
There you go. I love that movie.
Under the Cherry Moon.
Nice.
Not really, but I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Sullivan.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 7th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. I'm your host, Craig, and it's great to see everybody. How many of you are here for the first time? Nice. Thank you for joining us. I would like to thank my conference producer, Arnie Garfinkel, who has been worked to death the past year on this conference, so thank you, Arnie. I want to thank all of our sponsors, our exhibitors, our speakers, our attendees. How many of you were at last night's reception? Did we have some fun last night? Did you make some good connections? Perfect, perfect. So we got a jam-packed day for you today, and we've got all new panels. We've got 2 keynotes. We've got crowd favorite, Mr. Bruce Ford from Lodging Econometrics, who also chairs our Hotel Development Deal of the Year. And we gave away those awards last night to the Pendray Hotel here in Newport Beach. And we also did the Moxie AC in downtown LA. A couple of great winners to add to the collection that we've handed out that award to. Our very first one went to the crown jewel of the Anaheim Resort, the JW Marriott. Last year, Hyatt won for their Hyatt House in Sacramento Midtown, and also the Stanley Ranch. So we've got some pretty impressive properties that have won our Hotel Deal of the Year. If you're opening a hotel between now and January of next year, feel free to submit it to Mr. Bruce Ford and myself so that we can get the panels working on that. We've also got Jason Reeder joining us today, bringing us up to date on legislative items here in California. He will be at our lunchtime speaker that's being presented by Partner Engineering and Science, one of our founding sponsors, so we're really looking forward to that as well. David Bowman from NewGen will be making an announcement after Jason, and then I will be giving out our checks to 5 different organizations. As you know, part of this conference is we take a percentage of our gate and give it back to some very great organizations to help with their hotel scholarship programs. So that's a big part of what we're trying to accomplish, is bring in tomorrow's leaders. And before we go into our final networking and after party, a very good friend of mine and the industry, Mr. Jim Butler, is going to get our 3rd Lifetime Achievement Award. The other 2 recipients of that award were John Manderfield when he retired and sold his management company, and one of the top brokers, if not the top broker in the state of California, Mr. Alan Ray, who we all know. Jim has helped us, he's helped me, countless deals, billions and billions of dollars at this point, Jim, and has just a stellar career and has always been a good friend and has always helped whenever called upon. So we're really looking forward to that. I want to thank you all once again for being here, and with that, I would like to welcome, and please give a big round of applause to Bruce Ford of Lodging Econometrics. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to beautiful Costa Mesa, California. I brought the sunshine from Boston. I didn't have any snow to bring this year, so I brought the sunshine instead. Great to be with you all today, and happy March, and happy almost great first quarter. Almost. Artie, we're ready to kick with the slides. So wonderful to be with you. Again, Lodging Econometrics, information services for the hospitality industry. We track new hotels being built across the United States, hotels that are doing renovations and brand conversions. We also track hotel transactions, and we maintain a database of global hospitality real estate. All the numbers that you see here today are generated from our database, which is refreshed every 7 days throughout the industry. We work with many of the brands and franchise companies in this room to reprocess their pipelines and provide you with updated information about signings, new projects that are coming, conversions that are happening in the industry. We staff with about 40 people that do research on hospitality, and we continue to process data throughout the world every week. So to talk a little bit about what's happening out there in the industry, I think 23 felt pretty good for everybody. Certainly not 2018, maybe not 2019, but certainly continues to accelerate. I think we all kind of feel recovered or recovering, if you will, but we still have some economic hang-ups that are out there today that may be affecting our future growth a little bit. So 2024 is scheduled to be probably the biggest meetings and conventions year that we've ever seen in the hotel business. If you're surveying CVBs, you're surveying Central Business District, and you're talking to the downtown hotels, and you're talking to the convention center authorities, they're all saying meetings are up. It's likely to be a great 2024, but now they're also saying, as a second sentence to that, we're not sure if 2025 will keep up with 2024. So that is a little bit of the unevenness that you typically see as you have a hospitality real estate cycle recovery. There is some uneven spots before we kind of get a nice level trajectory going forward in our recovery. Some of those uneven spots are caused by blips. The meetings and convention feels like a little bit more of a blip, but obviously different from 2023 and probably different from 2025. But we have obviously a few foreign wars going on, cost of debt changed dramatically in 2023, but also inflation has caused some troubles at the operating performance level with inside of many hotels, as it's likely 25% more expensive to operate your hotel today than just 2 years ago. And that is obviously the addition of a lot of expenses, whether it's insurance or cost of retaining employees or cost of rehiring employees or simple energy being more expensive. So it's coming at us from all different angles, and we've been able to raise rates to meet that, but not exceed that. So if you're looking at cost of dollar per dollar, it's still kind of flat to 2019 and 2018. Much of what we're also seeing as an external economic impact is the amount of money that's chasing the hospitality industry. And we all know everybody likes a good deal, right? So we're all waiting for when those deals are coming. We have a tremendous amount of debt that is maturing in the hospitality industry, maturing under our toes today, maturing next year. And it's really, when will that kick in as part of the cycle? When will those hotels be available at a discount to replacement cost? When will these portfolios of CMBS hit the market? We all know that the most expensive way to own a hotel is to take it back as a bank. So we want to see more workouts. We want to see more process of a hotel selling naturally and organically versus having to take a hotel back, put it back on the market, hire a third-party management company. That's very expensive. We've learned over time that that is the most expensive way to get a hotel to market. So we're looking to see how that will play out. There have been a lot of announcements about transactions this year, both foreign transactions. Blackstone Starwood Capital is going to buy a big portfolio in London. There's been a few company merger announcements so far this year. There's been some interesting changes in top executives. So there's a lot of fluctuation going on in the industry right now as we get reset for the recovery. And when I say reset for the recovery, there are some other elements that we should be thinking about. So we've now reached a record high of the number of projects in the new construction pipeline across the United States. Now, that record is a direct result of 145 new brands being announced since 2017. The number of new brands in the hotel business is really astounding, okay? And it is a direct result of all of your loyalty to brand.com. The reason that the brands feel confident to be able to deliver more brands and more price tiers of brands is because your relationship with their website, their apps, changed a lot during the pandemic. So as a result of that, the number of rewards guest members that they have has tremendously grown. So they can deliver more price tiers to those people because there's more price tier shopping going on. And as their brands continue to grow and as their locations continue to grow, they're looking to offer more variety of different types of rooms. So you even have some of the biggest hotel companies playing in the economy chain scales and the mid-scale chain scales truly for the first time. And as a result of that, that number of projects is high, but the room count has not reached historical highs as of yet. As a matter of fact, it's still 20% below the historic high, and that's a result of smaller hotels in the lower chain scales populating the new construction pipeline. So those new project announcements that have come into the industry, those are signings and intentions where land is under control, but we're still not seeing the pace of starts or new hotel construction starts that we would traditionally have in this time in the cycle. So that hasn't kicked off because still debt is still expensive. So it's not that we're not seeing starts, and to give you a number on that, in the fourth quarter of 2023, we saw about 315 new hotels start in the U.S. That's not a historic low, but it's not a historic high either. So it's kind of in the middle, okay? And we'll probably have a little bit lower number than that in the first quarter, and people are just waiting for the cost of debt to come down. As a result, renovations and conversions are also at a historic high. Hoteliers really do feel confident that the recovery is here and underfoot. And they are investing in their portfolios. They're remaking their hotels with everything that we've learned from the pandemic. Maximizing every square foot for revenue opportunity in their hotels is certainly underway. And many of those hoteliers also are facing that first big renovation. So one thing we will have as a theme over the next couple of years is between 2003 and 2009 in the United States, which would now be 14 to 21 years ago, we built over 1 million new hotel rooms in the United States. Those hotels are facing that first big renovation where they must literally pull the room out and replace it. And in many cases, those are for franchise extensions, new contracts, perhaps a brand change. So as a result, we have this pent-up renovation demand because of the deference from the pandemic. But we also have many of these hotels that are now reaching that critical age of first big renovation. So we're going to see renovations and conversions at a pace of some 400,000 rooms per year each of the next couple of years. And those would be historic highs as well. So if you're an owner or a management company, we're really looking at 3 or 4 things in the market that you have to be paying attention to. What new hotels have signed in my market and how does it change my brand mix? What is renovating in my market? What is changing its brand in my market? And what is for sale or what has sold? We can monitor all of that for you with lodging econometrics, and we'll talk about that in each one of the major critical markets in California today as we continue forward. Much of what we're going to talk about today is also a little bit about travel and a little bit about the industry's relationship with the general economy. So travel has not abated, okay? There is still thing called revenge travel. I don't know how much that applies here, but people who said, I can't stay home anymore, I have to go somewhere, okay? So they went on vacation last summer. That has tended to continue. So that leisure travel market is peaking and probably will crest sometime towards the end of this year, if not early next year. The hope is that individual business travel, conferences like this, continue to fill in the gaps where leisure may slow down a little bit. But some corporate spending has pulled back a little bit because the economy generally, if you're a company that services all types of verticals, you might be a little bit skittish. You're probably not growing your spending this year. You're probably looking to be flat with 2023. But certainly out there, marketing your products and services is a big part of what we'll grow with in 2025. International arrivals is also something that's growing again. It really still is pretty soft. It is still tough to get a visa to come to America. It's a little easier for us to travel outside of the United States, but if you don't have a visa to come to America, it is a little bit of a challenge from a timeline perspective. So that has slowed some of that international travel arrival, but it is getting better, slowly but surely. So what does the new construction pipeline look like in the United States? So this is comparing the last 4Q22 with 4Q23. So we publish at the end of the year. So this would have come out in the end of January. So this is, quote, through December 31, 2023 versus December 31, 2022. So that modest growth is a signal of 2 or 3 things. The first thing is we're not opening hotels at the pace that we should with the number of hotels that are under construction. That is just a slow to materialize kind of situation. And that is some supply chain, that is some cost overrun problem, that is also some labor problem still, as the health and safety at the sites is still somewhat compromised as unfortunately the pandemic has lingered a little bit, which has caused some issues there. Also, the signings and the projects filling up the back end of the pipeline is truly very evident right here, and particularly with early planning. In a pre-pandemic time, if you were a mid-scale hotel or an upper mid-scale hotel, typically you signed a franchise agreement and you started construction within 12 months. Today, that timeline has lengthened out to 2+ years, if not 2.5 years. So as a result, those projects are entering the pipeline in early planning, where in a pre-pandemic time, they entered and start in the next 12 months. So as a result, we have a fuller early planning pipeline of select service properties signed, committed, but we're waiting for the debt market to cool off so we can finance the development of this hotel. How does that look by chain scale? So again, we're following along with the industry standards here, chain scales, and we have added in the unbranded line to the bottom. Now with LE, we do classify each unbranded project in the new construction pipeline with a like type chain scale. So if you're interested to know a little bit more about how this shuffles together, I do have a stand in the back of the room, in the back corner, to my left, your right if you're turning. Also, there are copies of my slides back there if you're all interested in seeing some of these on paper to write some notes, or you want to ask some more questions after I'm done today. I will be here all day and happy to help you out with that. This is a trend that we have seen for quite a number of quarters. It is the dominance of the upper mid-scale and upscale chain scale. This is where the majority of the new construction projects are in the pipeline, and it is a majority of where the new brands have come into the pipeline as well. We do see a growing number with mid-scale, but here you would not see, as a for instance with Hilton and their Spark conversions, it would not be represented on this table because many of those are in fact conversions. We have another slide for that, but using that as an example, if you have a conversion brand, many of those are surging right now across the United States, as I think Spark has 160 projects in my database today throughout the US that are actively being pursued, not yet open. So what does that say about the new construction pipeline right now? You can see we had a soft bottom in 2022 with openings of about 56,000 guest rooms. That is going to progress further, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, but still well below long-term averages. Typically, in a real estate cycle, we'd be looking for this to start with 100,000, so we still have some room to run. However, with the new construction pipeline approaching 700,000 guest rooms, it is not too difficult to assess that 2026, we will see 100,000 new rooms opening again in the United States, just based upon where we are today with the size of the new construction pipeline. So how does that look by franchise companies? So we do some forecasting here at LE, and again, this is a national chart, so this is the United States as a whole. What is anticipated to open new construction, but also what would convert to this franchise company's brands for the first time. And really just looking at a selected number of companies here, adding them up, and then comparing it to the remainder of the industry, you can see the dominance of these top 4 companies in terms of how they are opening more properties. They also have the most brands, as nearly 100 brands represented in those 4 companies. The farthest column to the right is everything else that's signed today in the new construction pipeline but not going to open in 24 or 25. Also, 2025 could be affected by more conversions signed throughout this year, as you can sign a conversion and convert that property within 6 or 9 months. So we do anticipate the 2025 openings of new plus conversions will be a little larger for these franchise companies as we go forward, but easily trackable. Here's the next 4, okay, in terms of the largest franchise companies. And Matt, I've got you up here. I know you're working on 25, okay? We need more red roof conversions in 25. Signings are happening every day. But 48 would be I don't think that's a record high for you, but certainly a very good year if you're able to pull that off this year. So let's add together. So I guess we got some issues with some of these slides. The print is a little bit big. I don't know if this can be made a little bit smaller, but I will need to read some of this to you. Didn't see this coming. So the state of California, in terms of the new construction pipeline, we have 13,300 rooms under construction, 40,873 rooms scheduled to begin in the next 12 months, and then 35,247 rooms in early planning. So again, starting the next 12 months would be those hotels that today have a start date that is scheduled in 2024. That doesn't mean that actually happens, okay, because we all do see delays, okay, but we have projects that are going to open in or start in 2024. The early planning would be active, signed, but not going to start until at least 2025. Early planning projects, transactions in brand conversions, 12,000 rooms in brand conversion, 13,000 rooms under renovation, 7,600 rooms in the transaction volume throughout 2023. My apologies, Arnie, I did not see this coming with the slides here, but this is a little bit more legible. So now we're going on Sacramento, okay? So the metropolitan area of Sacramento, this would be the number of rooms under construction, those that are scheduled to begin in the next 12 months, and then those that are announced and in early planning. At this point in Sacramento, I would consider this to be a market where we didn't get a lot of new construction throughout 2020, 2021, 2022. So the signings here is really building out the brand portfolio. So we're seeing more in planning than usual in a market like this because they didn't open as many hotels over the past 5 years. The market is also not doing a lot of conversions and renovations. The activity is a little bit stagnant. It's kind of getting ready to get ready, if you will, in the Sacramento market. What does it look like in San Jose? So much of the activity in San Jose is built around in Santa Clara, where the stadium is for the 49ers. There's quite a few developments there of really all types and scales as they're building out the neighborhood around that particular stadium. So much of the activity for San Jose is in that market. Also, San Jose saw a tremendous amount of openings between 2018 and 2022. So that isolated pocket of Santa Clara is really kind of where much of the San Jose pipeline is concentrated. In San Francisco, so a much talked about market. What is happening here? Well, the Moscone Center is now fully renovated. There are conventions booking into the Moscone Convention Center, and that is immediately evident by the activity in the luxury market. So downtown San Francisco has 3 or 4 new construction projects that are luxury. One is a Waldorf Astoria. They're going to do a new Rosewood in San Francisco, as well as a new Langham Hotel. They have a couple other unbranded luxury projects also in the pipeline in the downtown district. So that is a signal of market health. Look towards the future. It maybe isn't healthy today, okay, but it is a bet on the future, 2027, 2028, where they're increasing the amount of luxury guest rooms in the San Francisco market. The second part of the San Francisco market, the airport is also very active, lots of conversions and renovations happening out towards the airport. What else do we have on Oakland? So Oakland is one of those markets where we're spreading out all the brands and continuing to build out the portfolio of each of the franchise companies. In many cases, Oakland on its own probably lacked some of these second and third locations for some of these franchise brands, so they're doing that second and third location. Also, extended stay in Oakland is very popular, as this is a warehousing district, also kind of a long-term stay market. So we've seen a tremendous amount of extended stay here in the Oakland area. On to Los Angeles. It has a little bit of everything, a little shake, a little bake. Downtown, there are still new construction projects for certain. Also, projects around the new stadium, the SoFi Stadium, there's projects there. There are a tremendous amount of renovations being contemplated in Los Angeles. Not all of them are starting construction, okay, but contemplated, planning. Lots of activity down there. I think some of our design friends would tell you they're very active in LA, doing a lot of quotes and getting ready for that next stage. There was a big renovation phase that happened. Certainly the convention center is scheduled to be very busy this year. The Crypto.com Center or the former Staples Center also very busy with conventions and activity. Los Angeles seeing good rise in room rates as well. So there is going to be a transition to new construction again. A lot of these projects were in the pipeline at the beginning of the pandemic and just failed to start but remain active. Okay, so some of them have been in the pipeline for 2 or 3 years but aren't dead yet. Orange County, where we are today, So in Orange County, we see also a mix, okay? Still Disneyland, very popular, some development out there. The Orange County Convention Center, very busy for 2024. I think they'll sell more hotel rooms as a result of the Orange County Convention Center this year than any year before. And Anaheim is absolutely buzzing right now. So some hotels are just finishing up their renovations. There's also been a tremendous amount of conversion activity in Anaheim and in and around the parks and down here even into Costa Mesa. So the activity in Orange County remains mixed. Lots of action for all opportunities, whether you're renovating, you're converting, building new pipeline is growing, but again, that early planning is things that aren't going to start till 25, so things that are really 2026, 2027 opens. San Diego, again, lots of renovations. Downtown San Diego, conversions and renovation, more than 60 projects. Crazy to say that, but it's the #1 market for conversions and renovations right now, San Diego and the surrounding metro area. Very active investment environment. San Diego Convention Center right behind Orange County will be one of the busiest convention centers again this year across the United States. And certainly many of the hoteliers are enjoying good profitability in San Diego County. The Inland Empire, also known as kind of Palm Springs, okay, and out to San Bernardino, if you will. So the activity out here, there's some new resorts being developed. There's some casino hotels being built. There's also a tremendous amount of extended stay activity out here as well. Really all mixes, all chain scales, very active market. And for a market that is not a top 25 market, this is extremely active. So when we add it up, okay, and you take each one of the submarkets that I spoke about so far, and you add up their openings over the next couple of years, so again, this is scheduling out 2024, 2025, and then everything else in the pipeline. You can see from an active new construction market, Palm Springs and San Bernardino has the most, Riverside, the most, okay, activity, even more than LA. Okay, so really that movement towards the desert for development and building out of those brands is a real thing to monitor here. How does it look now by chain scale across the state of California for openings for new hotels? 2024 and 2025. I would say you can take this forecast and bake it in as probably to be the most accurate. 2024, obviously already under construction. 2025, I think there's really only 2 or 3 properties that haven't begun yet. So this is, I think, in the can, if you will, as to what will open new across the state of California for the next 2 years. So I can tell you in general that where we are in the economic cycle says that we are recovering, okay? I will say we're recovered when the debt market comes back towards us a little bit, and we get a little bit of pullback on that. I think I'll say recovered when the transaction market begins to heat up a little bit more and we see a few more transactions going on. We have not seen the hot start this year so far on transactions that some of us may have anticipated, that be including me, okay? But certainly it's coming. There's just too much money chasing hotels at this point. Travel looks good this year. The airlines are certainly busy. They are managing their inventory, taking care of their customers with enormous fees, overcharges. So they've got that all figured out. They're not certainly seeing profitability. So we need the hotel industry to see more profits, and I think it's there to be had in 2024 and 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Enjoy the California Lodging Investment Conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce Ford. His PowerPoint will be available on the CLIC website, if not on Friday, on Monday, plus he's got copies in the back. Couple of things before we go into our break. You're going to get a little extra networking time this morning. Jackie Collins, our parking and one of our founding sponsors, has got your parking validations. Go over to her table. It'll cost you a business card, and then your parking will be taken care of. Also, out at the registration table, there's a fishbowl out there. Please drop a business card in there. Our good friend Glenn Hausman will be doing the raffle. We've got all types of gift certificates. And for people that drove, there's a 50-inch television. So if you can get that in your car, yeah, take it with you. So enjoy your networking right now. We'll be back with our first panel in about 20 minutes. Thank you.